Watch the safety here, number one. All the stress we put on them, he's got a trigger to try and fit the run. Well, now he's not sounding his responsibility. Here's a great example of grass, just enough grass to throw this RPO here. It's a called run play. Well, the quarterback has the ability to take that grass, but it starts with having that foundation with a variety of RPOs and run concepts that we're really sound at.
My name is Seth Howard. I'm the assistant quarterback coach and coordinator of creative content here at Drake University. And we are sitting down here with offensive coordinator here at Drake University, Joe Matheson. How are we doing today, man?
Doing great. Thanks so much for doing this. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Today we are going to give you a crash course on this new Top Gun offense here at Drake University. We obviously have some history together, coached together, and I played for you while I was at the University of Wisconsin River Falls. First of all, talk to me a little bit about this past season, because obviously it was an incredible year, had set some records and had some unprecedented success at River Falls this past season.
Yeah, it was such a genuine thrill to be a part of the season at River Falls. You know, Coach Walker and I have worked together for 8 years, and to see it culminate with the national championship, to go from 2 wins to winning 14 and winning it all, it was really gratifying. And we had a great team and had a chance to work with some great people along the way.
Talk to me about why Drake, because I think it's a unique opportunity. Obviously, you probably had some opportunities to do some different things, but why for you and Coach Walker did this feel like the right fit?
Well, I've been lucky to work with Coach Walker, like I said, for the last 8 years, and then to have someone who I really believe in the genuine values he brings to the program, and I love working with him, to see him go to an institution that reflects those values and competes at the highest level, it was a no-brainer to jump at the opportunity to join him.
Obviously, this offense specifically, the Top Gun offense, has had an incredible amount of success. I mean, you look at some of the numbers and they feel almost impossible to even imagine what's possible. When we start thinking about, and we'll get into it a little bit, about what makes this offense go, what are some of the core philosophies that you try to implement when you're coming to Drake now and trying to do maybe not exactly what you did at River Falls, but a version of what this Drake Top Gun offense will look like?
Yeah, sure. I think it really starts with the genesis of the brand itself. We wanted to have an identity, and when I took over the offensive coordinator job in 2020 during COVID, it wasn't that fun to be a college football player. So we wanted our guys to be excited about the football they get to play in every day. So we created a brand, the Top Gun offense. It's really identifiable, and it's college football. It's supposed to be fun. Like, we wanted our guys to embrace that. Yeah, we're going to attack. We're going to play fast. And that's really where it started. So you talk about some of those core principles of who we are and what we're going to do.
Okay, now we're going to start walking through this offense. Where do we even start?
Well, I think just what's the philosophy behind Top Gun offense? Number one, we're going to play with relentless tempo. We're going to attack and try and snap it as many times as possible in a football game. The next element is 6-back offense, as we call it, or adding the quarterback in as a runner and forcing the defense to defend it. And then finally, I think what's really helped us in the last few years is the freedom within the system, just empowering our guys to play with freedom post-snap and hunt and find space in matchups. But for us, we've been able to say we've been the fastest documented offense in college football over the last 5 years. And, we train that way. Our guys are prepared to play that way. We say we practice faster than we're allowed to even play in games. But guys embrace that. They know what our identity is, and I think guys really enjoy it. And I think one year we averaged over 93 plays per game in a season. We even had a game where we snapped it 128 times. So the other thing is it really builds this culture of competition within the unit. We need to play a bunch of guys. We can't just play our starting 11 and expect them to be fresh and to execute at the level we want them to. So I think that's a big part of the culture we want to have on offense as well. And it's led to a lot of production too. And if you're going to play as fast as we've played, we expect to have a lot of production across the board. I think, it's not going to be a very good offense if you can't help out the quarterback. And we've had a bunch of different guys when we were at River Falls over our time there have success within the system. We say each quarterback's got a different superpower, so how can we bring the best out of them? And in particular, our quarterback last year, Caleb Blaha, had a tremendous season and made me look really smart because of his ability to do it all, really. And he came from someone where Nobody wanted him to play quarterback out of high school to now the best quarterback in the country and maybe ever at our level. I think, we've had a great element of player development, and that's so important to be able to take guys and bring the best out of them, whether it's offensive line, tight end, or, we've had a number of All-Americans within the system. But also modern college football, whether you're a freshman who has a lot of talent or an impact transfer, just being able to bring guys up to speed quickly within this system, we think it's really important, having really core concepts that we can master over a short period of time. I think a criticism we've gotten over the years is, can you play in the elements? This style of play is not very popular in the Midwest, but I think we proved we played in blizzard-like conditions, we played in negative 16-degree temperatures, and we're able to execute and do everything we needed to do within the system too. So that's something that's really important to us. I like looking at this clip here because you see up top that receiver to the top of your screen. We're in a tight end attached to empty set, and our guys are trained to execute in a line at this tempo, and the defense is not. So in this case, we're able to just simply outflank them and pitch the ball out there to our receiver and take advantage, just because we're able to choreograph and formate faster than defenses are used to aligning. This is against the top 5 defense in the country at the time. So we're just stealing yards because of that advantage. We're trained to execute at this tempo. Question we get asked a lot, are you a running team? Are you a throwing team? And I think when we're at our best, we have the ability to attack with both. And then we're going to reserve the right to have freedom within the system to find space and hunt space based on the defensive looks we get. We have that adaptability built in, but we've led our league previously in rushing and passing at different points, mostly based on what looks we get. Last year, we rushed for over 3,000 yards and threw for over 5,000 yards. So I think that demonstrated that we had both elements that we were able to attack with, and that's important to us. So a typical play, here's a great example of almost a triple option style play here, where our quarterback's got the ability, if he wants to, he could pull, run, and throw, or in this case, hand it off to try and stretch the defense as much as we can horizontally. We want to stretch the defense across the entire width of the field, but at our core, those are the types of plays we're running. Here's another run play, very similar to the one you just saw. Now we're pulling and throwing on that lock RPO, taking advantage again. Numbers, leverage, grass. Numbers, leverage, grass. Those are things we're talking about, giving our quarterback the freedom to pull and throw that. And a lot of times these really simple core concepts, those are the ones that become explosive plays for us.
Talk to me about the numbers leverage grass. I think us that are in the profession and understand it really understand what you're talking about. But for someone that's coming to a game that might not necessarily understand this numbers leverage grass concept, talk to me through that and what that actually means.
Sure, I think it's as simple as it sounds in some ways. With the numbers advantage, are they simply matching the number of skill guys out on the perimeter to take away any sort of perceived threat in the passing game or not? If they haven't matched those numbers, then we can throw a nice, easy RPO, a high percentage throw. If they are, the leverage becomes important. If they've left a lot of cushion or space, we can still take advantage of an easy RPO in some way, shape, or form. Grass is the catch-all. It's like, hey, you see a bunch of grass out there that we can take advantage of? Go ahead and do it. And that's one of those things that I think quarterbacks have a feel for. Here's a great example of grass. Just enough grass to throw this RPO here. It's a called run play. Well, the quarterback has the ability to take that grass and pitch it out to our slot receiver and create a nice explosive play off of it. So I think some of that's that quarterback intuition that you start to get as you play with tempo and play in the systems.
One thing I've heard you talk about before is the way that you practice. And I think it's unique. And I'll say this from my experience that as someone who wasn't the starter, I felt like I got more reps in practice than I did as the starter anywhere else. And that's just the style of play. And I think you see that in the way that the quarterbacks play this position is they've seen these things over and over and over again, and they just continue to get better just based on the sheer reps that they get at it.
Yeah, we want to create we want to create context, we call it. Just have a lot of context with different coverages, different blitzes, different fronts, so that you've seen it and you can experience how you can use your strengths, again, your superpower as a quarterback, to defeat those looks. And we're going to give you the tools to do it. Again, here, RPO, now to our tight end, right? We want to create those matchups in different ways. And ultimately, here's another tight end RPO. I mean, it starts with R, right? We want to create explosive run plays and help ourselves out by still being physical, by providing those different looks. So great example. Again, we can use tight end, running back, receivers. All those guys are involved in our RPO game because sometimes the advantage is not only numbers, leverage, grass, but also just the matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are big and physical, and we want to get them touches too. Here's the running back on an RPO. So just getting it out to the running back on the perimeter, letting those guys do what they do best. Here's what we talk about with six-back offense, just adding that gap with the quarterback run and still being able to run those base RPOs and get the ball into space. But I think it just does a little bit more when you add that gap to put conflict and stress on the defense. So again, able to throw it, also able to run it if we have the particular looks. And we've had guys that are really athletic at quarterback. We've had guys who can just get us a positive gain, and that accomplishes what we want to accomplish with some of these different concepts and try to have a variety of ways to attack the defense, have a full arsenal of RPOs out of these sets so that we can really continue to dictate with what we're doing formationally. Another example here, again, you saw a quarterback run. Well, now we're able to throw it and take a one-on-one matchup based on that look we get. And when you're running the quarterback, you're forcing the defense to add that defender in, and it helps create those one-on-one matchups you want. And then, we've been lucky, our quarterbacks, we've had some guys who can create explosive plays when you add that gap, because you're adding that gap in. It's not something defenses are used to defending if you have a variety of ways of doing it. An empty set, but still running the quarterback with some gap scheme runs, the ability to throw the RPO or just tuck it and run. And that distortion with our formations has helped us create some explosive plays. And then the fun part is once you establish that and put a lot of pressure on the defense, then we can build off it. Hey, let's go ahead and show those run plays and then now push the ball down the field off of it. Let's layer some concepts off those quarterback run concepts out of empty or not, and really put the defense in a tough situation. Again, hey, if we were leading for the run play with the running back before on that touchdown you saw, well, now let's show that run play and then throw play action off of it. And it's just building and layering off our base concepts. So you watch the safety here, number one, all the stress we put on them, he's got a trigger to try and fit the run. Well, now he's not sounding his responsibility, and that'll help us create some explosive plays. Another example, now we're in empty. We're going to show the run action again. Now we'll have our receiver looking like he's going to crack that safety like he went on a run play. But again, we're going to throw off of it, push the ball down the field, and attack. But it starts with having that foundation with a variety of RPOs and run concepts that we're really sound at. The next element in building this pass game that I think we've started to see and had success with is that freedom within the system for different types of receivers. Here's a great example of one of our bigger receivers on an option route. He can post-snap read and just sit this down in the space. And he's a bigger guy. He's 230 pounds. Sit it in that space and get us a positive gain, a really high percentage throw. That's a great example of how we can create isolations, create matchups, and he can just hunt that space. Similarly, we had, a 160-pound receiver in the slot. He's hunting space in a different way, just taking this on a slant because he sees there's a window there. We give our guys total freedom to read all that, and he does a great job of winning his matchup. So you don't have to be one or the other. We're going to try and find ways for you to use your tool set to the best of your ability.
I feel like one of the things that people might see here is that there's a lot of options for the quarterback, and not necessarily a traditional sense where it's triple option based, but it feels like the quarterback truly he can be wrong, but he can't truly like he can't get stuck. For example, it feels like there's just built-in things everywhere that the quarterback can be really comfortable in this system.
And I think a lot of it's informed by the tempo. We're not really trying to get in a perfect play as a staff. We're trying to create concepts that have answers built in and we know what they are and we're able to process those quickly. And then again, going back to giving guys freedom, just yeah, we talked about stretching the field horizontally. We want to be able to attack and stretch the field vertically too. And we had a great group who was able to do that. That's something we want to develop here. And I think having the willingness to do that and the ability to do that changes everything for a defense. So different areas of the field, different formations, different receivers. Again, everyone handles it within their own strengths to the point where they can attack and create explosive plays. But we got to have that ability to threaten vertically as well. And then what you'll notice is a lot of these are layered off those formations. Like here's a great example. We're in one of those formations where we have the ability to run the quarterback and attack. So defenses are forced to defend that. So now we can isolate particular matchups down the field. So if we have a matchup we like, we can go after a particular defender. And then I think the fun thing for us is we've always had the ability, because our offense is so simple, let's add in some wrinkles each week and have fun with it, whether it's just a reverse off our base quarterback run action, getting it out to a really good athlete in space, or even, putting someone else at quarterback, a wildcat set with some different elements there too. Like guys have fun with it. Hey, if they see something on a Saturday or Sunday that we need to install, we'll give them a little ownership and freedom and try and plug it in to our plan the best we can.
So now when you're thinking about bringing this system to Drake, and obviously spring ball is right around the corner, what are some of those things that you feel like excites you about this current group that we have coming back, and overall, what are you excited about with this group?
Well, obviously there's a great foundation here and the program's seen a lot of recent success and we're really excited to be a part of that and put our own little spin on everything here at Drake. What I love from a coaching standpoint is, yeah, we're not a finished product right now. It's going to take a ton of reps and work and it's going to be a little ugly at times. But that's what you love about coaching. It's the continual process of improvement until we iron things out and we can really play and execute at a high level. But it's going to take time. But again, if you're a coach, that's what you love. That continual process of, hey, we're not where we should be yet, but we can start with spring ball and continue to improve and grow and bring the best out of our players. And that's always our goal.
Thanks, man. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. Thank you.